Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jasson. Thank you for joining us. And for more than 100 years, the Lancaster Kiwanis Club has served Lancaster and Fairfield County and done many amazing things. And for the most part, they've been for serving underprivileged children. That's kind of always been their bailiwick, where they spend their time and their efforts and their money. And they do lots of things to try to raise money and help with that. And 3 years ago, the people in the club came up with the idea of a run, which a 5K run. There's a very popular about every weekend throughout the summer. You can certainly find one somewhere. And Kiwanis has theirs coming up. That will be this Saturday, May 20th, out at Hunter Park, their All Abilities Park out there that they built on Lincoln Avenue. And we'll find out more about it because we've got the people here that know what's going on with this Kiwanis 5 and 10K run. On my far right is Pam Stump, Abby King right here in the middle, and these are Kiwanis Run Committee members, and I have it on my phone here. It's a run, walk, and roll, which means what?
So it's accessible for anybody in our community. Part of Hunter Park is that it's accessible for all walks of life, kids, adults, people with disabilities. The whole path is paved, so if you want to walk, you can walk. If you want to run, you can run. If you need to bike or push a wheelchair, a stroller, anything, it's very accessible for everybody in our community.
Now this is the third year for this, and as we tape today, it's kind of a yucky day outside, raining. It seems to me that a year ago, this was the day like this, if you remember,
Yep.
that the race was going on. It was not, but they always say if it's a good day to run, it's a bad day to watch, and vice versa. So it was a bad day to watch the race, but it wasn't that horrible to be in it. I was in it last year, and it was just a little drizzle. It wasn't that bad. And it runs, as you said, so we should know that. The bike path is right behind the All Abilities Park, kind of tied in with Olivedale right there. So what do they run? Just it's a 5K, what is that, 3.2 miles?
Yeah. It's a 5K and 10K.
Oh, it's a 10K
so if
too.
You're really ambitious this Saturday morning, you can run all the way out. I think it goes out to about Kroger is where the
Is that where
turnaround
you're going to
point.
run?
No.
See? And Pam, are you?
I'm going to be working it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're volunteers,
We're volunteers.
so you've
We're on
done
the
your
committee.
part.
Yes.
You're on the committee. So again, this is the third year they've done it. They've all been at the All Abilities Park. Is that where they started?
The first year was unfortunately virtual because of 2020, but last year, yes, it started at Hunter Park.
Okay. And that's, again, the perfect park down there with this All Abilities Park. And I will say that about the park, if you go out on Lincoln Avenue and you see that All Abilities Park out there, that's an amazing place. And I've almost never gone by there any time of the year when you don't see a car there. They've got kids there, they've got adults. Maybe they walk there to walk in the bike path and things like that. But it's a very busy place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go out there much? Are you ever headed out there and just walk around?
All the time.
All the time?
Yep. I have 2 young children. We go there all the time.
That's pretty close to
and
use.
there's actually there's a workout station too. So my husband likes to use the workout station.
Very good. So that's a nice thing. Abby, have you ever gone out there? Do you know where it is?
Yes, I do know where it is. I was there for the ribbon cutting.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
But Andrea and I were just there a couple weeks ago.
Andrea Spires, president of the club.
Yeah, and we did run out to the 5K kind of path. So, and it goes right by the Kiwanis baseball. So we saw the Kiwanis
Talmadge
baseball.
School, at Talmadge School, yeah. So again, this is the third year, and I think you mentioned to me before we went on what the money amount was that we raised last year for that.
We raised just over $6,000 last year.
Wow.
So yeah, it was
First
a great
year really live. I mean, let's
Right.
call last year really the first year.
Yep.
And so I think you would say that was a job well done.
Yeah, it was a great fundraiser. We had a great turnout. We had great support from the community and other clubs in the community. We had a lot of people come day of and decide they wanted to race, so it was really cool.
So again, it's this Saturday, and most people probably, I know how runners can be. Probably 80% of them, 90% of them are signed up, but there will be people that day that decide, so they can still go sign up that morning?
Registration starts at 7:30 a.m.
And what time's the race start?
9.
9, okay. So, and it starts and ends right there. And Kiwanis, again, and we've talked about that, they've been around for more than 100 years, and just had a party a couple years ago to prove that they've been around 100 years. And didn't you say maybe the All Abilities Park was built about that time?
Yep. It was built out of the idea that the Kiwanis wanted to do a big project and give something back to the community for their 100 years. So they did about a year and a half of fundraising, and they leveraged a lot of different support from Kiwanis members, the community. They wrote grants.
The foundation?
Yep, the Fairfield County Foundation gave a couple different grants for things at the All Abilities Park, but it's just been a true community effort to bring it forth. And like you guys said, it's always busy. Kids love it, parents love it. It's right there on the bike path. It's got things for adults with the workout equipment. It's just been a true gem, and they were actually even awarded a recognition from the parks for
and the Lancaster Parks and Recreation, big supporters of this when this went through. I mean, had it not been for them, it'd have been a much more difficult job. And that's something you mentioned, Pam. I don't think I knew that. They have this workstation, for adults? And what's that entail? So
there's a couple of different machines. I don't know what the technical names for any of them would be, but there's a couple of different stations, probably pull-ups, push-ups, those, type of like body weight. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's also very nice. There's a working restroom. So
Yep.
And it's
the
close
parks
by.
have put that in. That's very nice. Brand new, too. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
they're
nice
very
facility.
nice.
Yeah. So it again is this Saturday, that's the 20th. It's run, walk, and roll. The third annual 5 and 10K. Now, has there always been a 10K entailed with this, or was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I guess maybe all I cared about was 5K.
Those overachievers, I care about the
For
walk.
people that I don't know anybody like that, but
there are some.
well, I'm sure there are. And I forget how many. I knew once upon a time how many runners we had last year. Do you remember?
I think we had about 60 last year.
Yeah.
Was the end total.
So again, which again was pretty decent for maybe a first year really promoting it and doing that. So we don't know how many. And again, many runners will, come that day, they'll register that morning because a lot of them wait to see what the weather is going to be like. Maybe they've got their kids with them, and they can. And this is for kids too, right? Anybody can run in this.
Yeah.
Now it might be too late to get a T-shirt that day, but you can still sign up that morning, as we said. And what's the cost? $30, and that if you sign up ahead of time, and hopefully maybe you've done that by now, you do get a T-shirt. Got a bunch of cool logos on the back, and I know corporate sponsors are a big part of this.
Yes, we have a lot of great corporate sponsors this year that have really supported us. Walker Shoe Center, Fairfield Federal, all kinds of different places.
Yeah, and again, that's a big part of it. We understand the fees that people pay. That's a big part of it too. But the real money for this is gleaned by having the corporate sponsors. And what are some of the things that Lancaster Kiwanis does with the funds? They don't have many fundraisers during the year. I know you do a big pancake deal in November. I've heard rumors of that going on. They've had that, but and the nut sales, the Kiwanis nut sales that go at that same time. But other than that, not many fundraisers. This is kind of another off-season fundraiser right now. What's Kiwanis? I mentioned underprivileged children. That's always been in the back of the minds of Kiwanis. Is that still mostly it?
Yeah, underprivileged children is definitely our focus. One of the biggest things that Kiwanis does is our free baseball league, which is running right now. As you said, out at Talmadge, we have 2 baseball fields out there. We have 3 teams this year, and that's for kids ages 8 to 12, and it's completely free for them. We provide equipment, uniforms, anything they may need to play, and it's completely free. There's no charge.
And one of the nice things, the Y, and everybody does other leagues and there's things, but kind of a nice one about this, and again, it's the Kiwanis League, so they can run it how they want to run it, is everybody plays. Everybody plays on this. You have any kids that play on that or?
Not yet. They're I forget the age group, but my kiddos are a little bit younger than that.
Okay, they can play in it because we've actually had people in the club who are members who either their kids played or in some cases they played if they were little younger members. So money that helps out. And as we talk about, again, I like to go back to that All Abilities Park because it is, if you've been out on Lincoln Avenue, I would assume most of you probably have seen that. That's an amazing thing. It took a long time to get that going from kind of the inception when the committee started working that out till they got it done. I don't know if it was 2 years. I'm not sure how long that was. It was a year plus probably.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years from concept to finish, and then we keep adding things, kind of, you know. Originally the restrooms weren't a part of it, or paving the parking lot, or, you know.
Was that adult station originally part of that, or was that something that was added?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was. I don't think
I kind of remember when they had the groundbreaking area and the ribbon cutting on that. I don't remember that being such a thing. But again, I guess the point to make it is in all abilities. All abilities. So that's why your kiddos like to go there and play around. They have a good time there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What do they like the most?
So my son likes the slides. There's all different slides. There's short ones, flat ones, some that spin, you know. So that's his favorite part. Yeah.
You ever taken yours there?
I have, yeah. One of our favorite things, there's 2 swings there where you can put your kid in the bucket seat here, and then you sit here, and you can actually see your kid and swing at the same time. So those are kind of unique. I haven't seen those at any other parks in our community, which is really fun because you don't just have to push them, like you both get to swing and interact and see that reaction.
Have you ever seen, and I'm sure both you girls are Facebook girls, I'm kind of a novice at that, but they show a picture of I guess they would call it a merry-go-round, one of those things that's out there, but it's in the middle of a paved parking lot, and there's nothing there but speed and kids being thrown off it as they're going around, and that's why people my age aren't scared of anything, because that's how we grew up. Now, we don't have one of those out there, I'm guessing.
Not exactly like that.
Not exactly.
No.
A little more controlled.
Yes. Well, first of all, the ground is a really nice,
cool,
soft,
too.
Squishy rubber. Even when you first step on it, you notice it's a lot softer. So
Is that made for the people with, say, wheelchairs?
Yep. So you can push a wheelchair across it because it is a solid. It's not like mulch or gravel or something like that. That would be hard to get through. But then it's also very soft if there's any falling off the slide.
Which I'm sure there is some of that going on. I understand that.
There's definitely a lot of climbing areas too, so you're not as concerned about them falling when they try to climb up themselves.
Well, and again, if somebody hasn't been out there to see that, I'd go out there and see it. The All Abilities Park out there, right before you get to 100 Trace, the entrance to 100 Trace on Lincoln Avenue. I've got Pam Stump and Abby King with me here from Lancaster Kiwanis. So the race is this Saturday.
Yep.
What time?
You can start or you can come and start picking up and registering at 7:30, but it starts at 9.
9, and the fee is $30, rain or shine, right?
Yes.
Snow or shine, the way it is.
Hopefully some shine, more shine.
Yeah, no rain and no snow. We don't want that.
No.
So you girls both volunteering down there that day?
Yep, we'll be there.
Very good.
All day.
Very good, all day. Well, it's a fun time. This Saturday, 9 o'clock, 7:30. Time to sign up.
Yep, you can come in and get registered if you haven't registered, or if you pre-registered, pick up your packet and your t-shirt if you register before the deadline.
Very good. It's a fun time. Get out there and support the community because it all goes to Kiwanis, and we know that money goes to support good things. Girls, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back in Fairfield today.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
My name is Allie. I just became 14 years sober at the end of last month. Through the support of my family and friends, I got the courage to ask for help. And through treatment services and the recovery community, I was able to start my recovery journey. Now I get to work as a peer supporter and an addiction treatment navigator, where I get to help the next sick and suffering. If you don't have family and friends that can support you right now, you can find those supports through treatment providers, the recovery community, and peer supporters like me. Every life matters, and your recovery is worth it.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to thank the girls being with us from Lancaster Kiwanis, talking about their big race coming up this week. Another event that will be coming up very soon, a little more than a week away, is the Lancaster Chorale, and they are Central Ohio's really only professional choir and ensemble that sings around here, and we're fortunate to have them here for more than 25, probably more than 30 years now. They've been performing all around, certainly around Ohio and many areas, and they're just a wonderful group. They've got a concert coming up very soon, and to talk about that is Ivan Smith. Ivan is on the board of the Lancaster Chorale. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You?
Good. We also can talk a little bit about the Lancaster Fairfield County Youth Choir. We'll talk about that as we move through here, because they're going to be a part. It was a wonderful group in their own right, but they'll be a part of the big concert. So the concert is coming up. It's a little different this year. Normally when we talk about concerts, they're on a Saturday up at St. Mary's. That's typically how they are. A little bit change here. This is on what, the 27th? At First Presbyterian Church, just about a block away from where we are right now.
Yeah.
And it's a 7:30 evening concert.
Evening. Yes.
And that's because they'll be doing another one on the next day. Up in Columbus. At St. Mary's
Catholic Church in Columbus.
At St. Mary's in Columbus. So we'll talk about the one here. It's on, again, Saturday evening, 7:30 at First Presbyterian Church, just down the road from us a little bit. What's this one all about? Coming up May 27th.
In memorial, American Concert Works, elegies, spirituals, and patriotic sing-along.
Sounds like we're heading into Memorial Day.
In fact, I have a list of the sing-alongs.
Okay. And so what the chorale will be inviting the patrons to sing along with them?
Yep.
So you can always say on your resume you sang?
Sang with Lancaster Chorale.
That's pretty good.
That's
right. Pretty good. And again, I know you've been involved for many, many years with the chorale on the board, and I know you've sung with them at different times. They're quite the professional group.
Amazing. They're all, every one of them is a professional singer, and I've had the opportunity, as you mentioned, to sing with them a couple times, and what happens is I always get elevated. And then I get back to the Sunday morning choir 5-minute rehearsal before church starts and go back down again.
Back to the norm, but they lift you up. And I know on their, typically on their programs, they've always had the picture and then they have a bio with them. And when you read the bios of the however many they are, 25, 20, 35 people, depending on the show they're doing, every one of them is unbelievably qualified in the musical world.
Indeed, yeah. And Kylie Ogg, who's the director of the Lancaster Fairfield Youth Choir, is a member of Lancaster Chorale.
Sure, as her husband Nathan is.
Her husband, Nate.
And we've had Nathan on the show a few times to talk about that. So this one is going to be kind of some patriotic music, and that'll be kind of a thread through this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. It's a memorial.
Now, what's the songs that you know? And you say you have it here.
I got it on my list.
What's the ones? hear that if you don't have it handy, that's all right.
Got it handy.
Okay.
Well,
So what will be the ones that the director will be asking you to sing?
we'll be singing America the Beautiful.
Okay.
All of us will sing in America Beautiful. Lift every voice and sing.
Very nice.
And you may have heard My Country 'Tis of Thee.
I've heard of that.
Audience,
It's a big name.
all three of those are audience sing-alongs.
And let's talk a little bit about the director. And I don't know how long Stephen Caracciolo has been the director. Maybe I don't know if it's been 10 years yet.
I don't think it's quite 10, but it's got to be
5 to
getting
10,
close.
that area. He replaced when Bob Trocchia retired, who was in it from the beginning, and he retired. And I know a long look around for a new director occurred, and it took a while to get one, but they finally settled on Stephen Caracciolo. And he lived away. I think he lived in Maryland while he would come back here to do the concerts for several years. But now he's retired. I think he lives in Columbus now, so that's probably a lot more convenient.
He is local now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 25, 30 people. Again, they pick out the voices they want depending on the theme, how many people.
And the specific work that they're going to be performing.
Yeah.
Some need more. That's how I got the opportunity a while back to sing with the chorale, because they needed more singers.
Wow.
For the work that they were doing, and I could not become a member of Lancaster Chorale.
But one time or two times is still a good resume builder.
Oh, yeah.
It still looks good on that. I know Stephen, that was his world. He was a music professor in Maryland, around there, and then I think he kind of retired and moved back here to be closer to family and things like that. But his world has always been about music.
Oh, absolutely. And he's a composer.
Yeah.
He's
and they've done
quite
things,
a composer.
And they've done pieces by that.
His
Now,
work.
the ones this year are more well-known or less well-known songs that the chorale will be singing?
Some of each. Some very well-known and some lesser-known, and some work of Stephen.
And that's been something that I know the last few years, the chorale, as we said, the concert we're talking about is May 27th, Saturday night at First Presbyterian Church here in town. It's at 7:30. And then the next day, Sunday, they're doing one in Columbus at St. John's Catholic Church in Columbus. Not
St. Mary Catholic
St. Mary's
Church.
Catholic Church in Columbus, not here. But that's something they've done a little bit more. It's always going to be the Lancaster Chorale, but they've kind of spread out a little bit and done several concerts now in Columbus.
Yes, and that's going to be a regular happening that in the future too.
And is that working out well to try to get the word
have
out?
a footprint in Columbus, absolutely.
Because I know a lot of the singers are from the Columbus area. Like you
Yes.
say, there's Kylie and Nathan, who are more local people here, but there's some come from all over.
Yes, some come from farther than Columbus as
Really?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being a professional singer and being a member of Lancaster Chorale is a very positive thing for those folks.
And again, it looks good on their resume.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah,
We
they can get
benefit,
gigs
they
somewhere.
benefit.
Yeah. And again, many of them are music teachers. Not all. There's some that I guess maybe a few that actually don't work so much in the music world, but I'd say 90% of them probably are involved probably in education some way.
They are, and one of the things I've noticed is that you hear the word itinerant, and it's kind of a negative word in some ways, but it shouldn't be. So many of these folks make their living doing 3 or 4 things: teaching, singing in Lancaster Chorale, some of them perform at weddings, and do 3 or 4 things in order to get the income that they need.
We've got a couple minutes here. I wanted to mention the Lancaster Fairfield County Youth Choir. You've been involved with that. You've sort of been the liaison from that choir with the chorale, who's sort of their mentors and mentoree status there. They're performing in this concert. We mentioned that Kylie will have them out there. They're having a nice resurgence the last couple of years themselves.
They are. They've had some problems. We lost a director, and we got another director that was good, and had some medical issues there, and we lost that director. And Kylie came and
local girl.
The kids love Kylie, and Kylie loves the kids. These kids come to sing in Lancaster Fairfield Youth Choir because they want to sing.
And what's the ages of those kids?
Grade 4 on right up. They're boys and girls.
Until the
They're
boys'
trebles.
voice change.
The boys' voice changes, and the girls often stay right through high school because they like it.
Yeah.
And it works kind of well to get a young kid in there in the 4th grade, put him next to somebody that's been singing in the group and is for several years and is furthermore somewhat older.
And I've seen some of them that actually have gone on in a musical career based on coming out of this group.
Absolutely, and I think that one of two things can happen. I know people that get out of there and they keep on singing. I might be an example of somebody who keeps on singing and doesn't get paid, though I wasn't in LFYC, and others become professional singers as a result. The founder, the son of the founder, I've talked with him recently. He's been singing ever since he sang in the group, and I don't think he's ever gotten $1 for singing.
Just enjoys it.
He just enjoys singing.
So the Lancaster Chorale, under the direction of Stephen Caracciolo, it is Saturday, May 27th, 7:30 p.m. at First Presbyterian Church here on Broad Street in Lancaster.
Right. And
then if you can make it or you can't make that one, you want to go up for another one, or you want to go to both of them. The other one's at St. Mary's Church in Columbus, and all that information, you have all that on the website.
Yes.
And the website is?
Tickets are available from the website, lancasterchorale.org.
.org, and everything can be purchased there at the door. You can get them ahead of time, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. You can get tickets in advance, and probably the best way to do it.
All right.
But usually there are a few good seats left.
You might find one or two. It's First Pres got a nice situation down there. Good luck. Enjoy the concert. Maybe we'll get down there to see it. Hope it's a good one. I'm sure it will be.
Oh, it will be.
Lancaster Chorale, May 27th at First Presbyterian Church. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.